Good evening, Electric Eel families. Mrs. Inslee coming at you with a at-home reading update, and I'm at the point in the night where words are hard, so please bear with me. I'm going to try to make this nice and quick. Each student brought home a Ziploc baggie with a folder and 2 books last week. On their folder on the back side is a login page for different apps and technology sites that students can use for learning. I will share more information about those sites in the coming weeks, but I really want to focus on the at-home reading right now. Inside of your folder, there are 2 sides. One is for student-led reading and one is for adult-led reading, and that's why students are coming home with 2 books. The book that is listed on the student-read side is a book that students should be reading at least 5 times to practice fluency. So this book is at their independent level. It should be something that the student is confident in, something that they are able to read fluently and with expression, so not choppy, but very smooth like a strong reader. And then something that as they come across words that they don't know, they're able to really attack those words and decode them. They're not coming across a vast amount of words that they don't know. And as they're making mistakes through this text, they're going ahead and correcting their own mistakes. So they're asking themselves, did that look right? Did that sound right? Did that make sense? And they're going ahead and correcting this. So this is the kind of book that should make them feel like a rock star, should make them feel incredibly confident as they're reading, and be the book that as a parent you enjoy sitting and reading with them, or listening to them read. Because we all know that it can be a very frustrating experience. And so this should be that moment of enjoyment for you guys and for you to see really how much they've grown. So your student will read this book 5 times. The only thing that they have to record on the student-led side is, and I actually have not changed it on this particular printout, but it's corrected on the folders that your student has. It says something about times read tally, and the student's going to just put a tally for each time they've read it. The student can read it to the dog. They can read it to a stuffed animal, to brother and sister, to the kid down the street. Does not matter who they read it to. They could even read it to a brick wall if they wanted to, is what I told them, as long as an adult is a part of the experience towards the back half of it, so the adult can give them feedback and really gauge, are they ready to bring this book back to school and trade it out for a new one or not? When they're finished with this book, so you as the adult feel like they've done a phenomenal job, tuck it back in that Ziploc bag, they'll bring it back to school, and we will sit down and have a conference with them about this book. Either myself, one of our teacher's assistants, or one of our volunteers will sit and listen to your child read this book and kind of gauge, how ready are they? How fluent are they? Is this leveled correctly for them? And if the student can demonstrate that they have great knowledge of that book, then we will switch out the books, send them home with another one. And then very similarly, but focusing on a different reading skill, is the adult read side of things. So we're sending home another book, usually of a higher level. So this is more of a focusing on reading aloud. Even though some of your students are becoming just these amazing fluent readers, all of your students are growing as amazing fluent readers. Some of your students are really getting up there in levels. However, it's still important for them to share the experience of listening to reading and comprehending what's being read. And so that's why the spotlight is on you, Mom and Dad. So any adult in the home can read this book to your student. You can chunk it as you feel necessary, so read parts of it over a couple days. But your student should be able to retell the story at the end. So they should be able to talk to you about the characters, the setting, the problem and the solution, and then what happens in the beginning, middle, and end. And then as the adult, also help them find what the lesson is in the book. And so then the student, when you're finished, will tuck it in their Ziploc bag, bring it back to us, and as part of their reading conference, we will ask them to retell the story. So again, I have not changed it on this printout where it says parent signature, but that will say retell notes. That is for us. As we are listening to them retell, we might say, ooh, focus on characters next time, or give a little note about that. But you will see us signing off on that. So there's nothing that you need to do in the folder other than the student to track their tallies of how many times they've read each text. I'm sorry, not even each text, their student-led text, The adult-led text can just be read once. You're welcome to read it more times if the student is not able to discuss the book. So that's the big key factor, is the student should be able to fluently retell, and that's really practicing on those comprehension skills. So the student-led book, the one at their level, is working on confidence, fluency, automaticity. It's bringing all of those great skills that we're working on as readers in class and bringing them together to let them practice independently. The adult-led book is really focusing on that comprehension. That's the higher level skill, and allowing them to kind of discuss texts with an adult, somebody who really has mastered these reading skills and can dive deeper into the meaning of the text with them. So, timeline of these, students are welcome to return books as quickly as they would like. Some students want to read both texts in one night, do all 5 of their readings of their student-led, and then do the one reading of their adult text and switch them out every day. If that is your student's pace, that's fine. Some other students, I totally, believe me, the Insleys are there with you. Some nights are easier than others. So sometimes we are really in our routine and have a great solid 30 minutes of reading as a family. And then other nights, it's a struggle to just get our teeth brushed and get in bed. So it happens. I completely understand. So if that is the case, then take your time with these books. What we want to do is find kind of a motivator within the students to see how much they can read and how much they can excel through these books. I will tell you that when I've done this in the past, students who have read consistently and are changing out books every two-ish days, 2 to 3 days would be a really ideal goal. As they're changing books out every 2 to 3 days, I'm seeing them meet our grade level benchmarks more consistently and more frequently. So the more you read, the more your child's going to grow. So just encourage them, but it should be something that they are leading. This should be their responsibility, not yours. So as students come in and say, "Oh, I forgot my Ziploc bag," they'll frequently say, "Mom forgot my Ziploc bag," or "Dad forgot my," I'll say, "Oh, no, that's your responsibility." So those bags, I got nice big bags to put everything in, so you can tuck those library books in there too. That means that all of the books would be protected in their backpack from those water bottles and other things that tend to spill and gather in backpacks. One thing that I will say is all of these books are, most of these books are mine personally, that I have been collecting for many, many years, or buying as I find them at good prices. Some of them are mine from when I was a kid. I've always had the policy that if a kid loses a book or doesn't bring back a book, then that child must need that book more than I do, and that is totally okay because I want books in children's hands. However, I do appreciate your care and helping make sure that I have a full library for future students in years to come. And so that's why we're the ones to write the book title in here to kind of track what books are going in and out as well. And I'm trying to think if you have any questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to sound off or shoot me an email. And I hope that you guys find this as a successful experience. I hope it's not frustrating, and I definitely want to know your feedback about the experiences with this. I will continue to send home the reading response. However, that is completely optional, just as this is optional. We are no homework school, and I 100% stand by that. I'm just trying to fuel you with resources to help make the experience of continuing and extending learning at home a smooth and easy one for you. So please let me know what questions you have, and I really appreciate your support in all of this. Thank you so much. Bye.